Hello, it's Randi Rhodes. Here's a clip from our show, and go to randyrhodes.com for the whole thing and a podcast. Buy a stinking podcast.
Mary had a little man.
The fall. We believe that all men are created equal.
To the magnificent mosaic that is America.
From radio beacon to radio beacon. I have a dream today. Change has come to America.
Believe me.
Knock, knock. Who's there?
It's a figment of your imagination.
Randi Rhodes Show.
Turn up your mind.
Voting is our patriotic duty. Millions of Americans already vote by mail or absentee. The military has been doing it securely for over 200 years.
To really vote and without fraud, you have to go and you have to vote at the polling place.
They cheat, okay? People cheat. Mail ballots are a very dangerous thing for this country.
Bad information is everywhere, but here's the truth.
Every absentee ballot is counted.
Every single one, no exceptions.
Americans can vote wherever they are.
I voted from Okinawa,
France,
Germany,
Marine Corps Base Quantico,
stationed aboard ship in the middle of the Pacific Ocean.
Wherever you are in the world, you can still vote.
Voting absentee has never been easier.
You can't do the mail-in ballots because you can have tremendous fraud.
Your claim, mail-in voting is rife with fraud.
And where's the evidence of it?
I think there's a lot of evidence, but we'll provide you with some.
Life looks different when you're active duty, but no matter where you are or what you're doing, you can still vote.
You do mail-in voting. Anybody that walks in California is going to get a ballot. We're not going to destroy this country by allowing things like that to happen.
Request your ballot and send your voice back home.
Hi, I'm U.S. Army Colonel and NASA astronaut Andrew Morgan. Serving on board the International Space Station, from right here in space, I cast my ballot in an election in my home of record.
I was a lieutenant in the Marine Corps. In my experience, most members of the military who do vote have to vote absentee. They are usually not resident where they are stationed. I voted for Richard Nixon, absentee, and Reagan, twice absentee, and I do remember vividly voting from the slopes of Mount Fuji in Japan. We need to make sure that there is access to voting by mail.
Levels of voting that if you ever agreed to it, you'd never have a Republican elected in this country again.
Oh, for God's sake.
All right, so that's Brave New Film's new voting is patriotic commercial. It's sort of a campaign commercial. I got to tell you that there is like, okay, here's the exact number. It's a fraction. It's a decimal point. Okay, it's 0.0027% of fraudulent activity in mail-in ballots in 2018. 0.0027%. People who have been looking at this for 15 years, because lots of states have been voting exclusively by mail for years and years, have the database. If you ever wanted to see like the people who are literally looking for it and trying to warn you about it, that would be the very conservative Heritage Foundation. They keep a database of election fraud cases, and in their database, there were 5 cases since 2007 in Michigan. In Ohio, there were 7 cases over 20 years. And 200 cases nationwide from all states over the last 15 years. You know what the problem's going to be for Donald Trump? All right, we're going to have a problem. There's no question we're going to have a problem. There is no way this is going to go well. The man is losing. He is totally losing, and you know he's losing because he's saying Democrats are losing, and whatever he says is an alternative universe. We've just showed you how they just can lie so effortlessly and just pivot. You tell them the president is now for the $600. Oh, in what way? Well, he's for the $600. Well, the Democrats want more. It's just so effortless, right? It's just so easy for them to just lie. So the president is lying now about fraud, and the president is also lying about what the polls are telling him. The polls have been clear for a really long time now, not just that Joe Biden is winning, but that Joe Biden is winning by double digits in swing states, in Wisconsin, in Michigan. Looks like Ohio might go down for, Donald Trump. He could lose Ohio. And, if Ohio is gone, that's it. It's just done. And Florida, 13 points for Joe Biden, 13 points ahead of Donald Trump in the swing state of Florida. So he knows this, right? And so what he's trying to do is slow down the mail. Slow down the mail. Well, there's a problem with slowing down the mail. Number one, you got 200,000 postal workers who don't like to be demoralized and don't like to be upset and don't like to be told not to do their job by the new postmaster general, who they know is a Trump crony, who gave $2 million to the Trump campaign, the reelect campaign, the RNC, and paid so much money to Republicans over the years that his wife is our ambassador to Canada. And still we can't get in there. Okay, just saying. But they don't like it, and they are reporting to the union, which is where you should report. And I tweeted out the phone number for the National Union, for Mike Diamondstein, who is the American Post Workers Union's president. Okay, and so anybody that sees something shady should say something to the union president, who's already fielding a bunch of complaints, especially in swing states. So there's that problem. People will say something. The other problem is absentee ballots are paper. There's going to be a lot of paper. Paper are receipts, you see. And there's going to be tons of paper. Now, I know what Donald Trump is up to, and you probably have figured it out too, that what Donald Trump is doing is the same thing he did last time. He seeds the ground with rigged, and it's not legitimate, and it's illegitimate, and it's all against him. Everybody's against him. I hate everybody. I'm going to eat a worm, right? But then when he wins, he just drops the whole mantra of it was illegitimate, it was rigged against me. Well, he's doing it again, obviously, on Friday. Friday shows are always free. So if you want to go review Friday, by all means do. And you'll see we made a mashup for you of all the times Donald Trump said it was rigged in 2016. And we were wondering aloud back then, well, what's he going to do if he wins about the claim that it wasn't free and fair? And then, of course, the answer was drop it. Just drop it. And start causing so many chaotic things to happen that you forget that he said that, right? Now, of course, it was rigged last time, but it was rigged on Facebook, and it was rigged with innuendo and conspiracy theories and right-wing radio and Alex Jones' talk show and Roger Stone getting a heads up about the WikiLeaks document dumps. And God only knows what Rudy Giuliani did in the New York field office of the FBI. We still don't know why Anthony Weiner's computer was received by the New York field office of the FBI, and no forensics were done on it. And then 6 days before the election, the field office in New York hands it to Maine FBI, James Comey, and says, we think there's emails from Hillary Clinton on Anthony Weiner's computer. Remember that? That was the October surprise. And we don't know the answer to that because the U.S. attorney that was investigating that, Jeffrey Berman, was fired by Bill Barr 2 weeks ago. See what I mean? So, yeah, it was rigged in weird, cheating ways, but not the count. Not the count. This time, Donald Trump is going to seek to disqualify just about every mail-in ballot that he can with lawsuits post-election so that only in-person voting will count. He will declare victory while these lawsuits are proceeding. And remember, in 2000, it took 36 days. Well, remember what happened when Bill Barr delayed the Mueller report and told you what his summary, what he thought the Mueller report was about? That's what we're looking at. Go to RandiRhodes.com for the whole thing and a podcast. Buy a stinking podcast.